Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. Welcome if this is your first time here. So this is going to be another pick a card reading, and we are going to focus specifically on what has been blocking you from manifesting new love into your life and what has been blocking you from manifesting financial abundance, financial stability, and things of that sort. So this will work just like any other pick a card reading. You'll basically look at the screen, press pause if you need to, and figure out which card you are intuitively drawn towards. And for those of you who you get kind of frustrated at these readings where you're kind of like, oh, I never know which card to pick, that's because your intuition is not strengthened quite yet. The more that you watch these pick a card readings, the more you will strengthen your intuition. Just like I say in my other videos, your intuition is kind of like a muscle. So the more you practice, the more you work it, the stronger it will be. So just keep watching these types of readings and your intuition will get stronger, and it will be easier for you to pick, which card resonates with you more easily. So yeah, like I said, just pause the screen if you need to, figure out which card you feel most drawn towards, and then go into the description box and you will find a timestamp, and you can click on the timestamp that goes with, the card that you chose, and those will be the messages for you. And yes, you can choose more than one card if your intuition is pulling you towards more than one. And I also will be extending each of these messages. So when you listen to the message and you want like a more in-depth, more personal type of reading, then you can go ahead and click on the link for the extended, and then you'll get more in-depth messages. So let's go ahead and dive into your reading. Again, pause the video if you need to, take a few deep breaths, and then choose whatever card resonates with you. Okay, group number one. So let's go ahead and dive right into your reading. So we're going to start off with your finances, and then we're going to move on to the love portion. So in terms of what's blocking you financially, the first card out is the Three of Wands in the reverse. Okay, so this card basically talks about not really having a clear plan or like a clear goal, and so you are kind of like stuck, or you're stagnant because you don't know exactly where you're going. It's kind of like if you were driving a car and you don't have a GPS, you don't have a map, you don't even have like a destination. You're just kind of driving and kind of wandering aimlessly, and you can't get to where you want to go if you have no clue where you're going and if you have no map to get there. So there may be a need for you to sit down and figure out exactly what your end goal is for finances. Like, what does financial abundance or success look like to you? And it's going to be different for different people. For some people, it's going to be, I want to be able to go on vacation once a year. For some people, it'll be, I want to be able to spend, however much money I want within the month. I never want to turn down the opportunity to buy certain things that I want. It's going to look different for different people, but you're needing to get very clear about what it looks like to you, and to have a very clear goal in mind, and then to have a very clear plan on how to get to those goals. Because without the goal and without the plan, you're basically just going to be, like I said, wandering, aimlessly and getting nowhere. So that's what I'm seeing. It also does kill your motivation when you don't have a goal and you don't have a plan, and I feel like for a lot of you, your motivation is also being killed by the fact that you need an emotion behind your goal, right? Like, if you have an emotional reason for wanting the goal, then you're more likely to follow through with it. For example, let's say that your reasoning for wanting to become financially stable is to help support your family. There's an emotion that's behind that, you see? And so whenever you feel like you don't want to stay on track, or you don't want to follow up with your goals, you'll start to think, okay, this is for my family. This isn't just for me. And with that emotion behind it, you'll then be motivated to get things done, you see? So I'm feeling like a lot of you, it's like your motivation or your lack of motivation also comes from the fact that you're needing some sort of emotional connection to your financial goals. It can't just be, I just want to make money, because you're not going to stay motivated. For those of you who picked this group, I feel like money is not enough to motivate you. You would think it would be enough, because people would say like, money is everything. And well, not that it's everything, but money is so important, to our comfortability. Like, just being comfortable is basically contingent upon how much money you have. If you don't have any money, then you won't have a home, you won't have food. You see what I'm saying? So I'm not saying that money isn't important. It is, but it's just not enough for you to be completely motivated. It's like you're needing just an emotional reason or an emotional connection to whatever your financial goal is, or else you won't feel motivated to reach that next level and to go that next step, or to just take things further or push harder than you have been pushing, if that makes sense. With the Nine of Cups being here in the reverse, again, it's just a repeat message of what I just said. The Nine of Cups in reverse talks about not feeling emotionally satisfied. Like you setting a goal of, I want to be a millionaire. That's not going to be enough to motivate you. It's not. Even if you sat down and wrote out a clear plan, like A, B, and C, this is what I need to do to become a millionaire, you won't be motivated to follow through with it, because again, you need to be emotionally attached to what it is that the goal that you're setting. So if you said, I want to be a millionaire because I want to feed starving children, then you're more likely to get up and be motivated by that. You see what I'm saying? So it's not all about just setting the goal. It's about the energy that's behind the goal. It's about putting your heart into the goal, because then you will be more motivated to follow through with it, is what I'm seeing. And also what I'm hearing is that when you set like a heart-based goal, like surrounding finances, the universe will reward you, because you're not just manifesting for selfish purposes. You're trying to manifest for your good, but then the good of other people as well. And so the universe is more likely to kind of back you up with your financial goals, and more likely to, help you to manifest what it is that you want. I'm also seeing here the Moon card and the Marriage card. Okay, so the Moon card talks about, the subconscious mind, like what's buried like deep within, especially when it comes to things that we have suppressed. So there could be some things that you've suppressed or that you're not facing that could actually be blocking you from finances. For example, if you have an issue with self-esteem, that can definitely affect your ability to, follow through with your financial goals. And you're needing to go ahead and dig to the root of that. Where does that come from? This lack of confidence, this lack of self-esteem. Is it something that you need to face? Is it something that you need to unpack? It's like there are certain things that we can experience in our past that can really like embed, I guess, well, that's the word. Yeah, like embed or imprint into our subconscious mind. And then it could affect all areas of our life, not just love, and I mentioned love because that's where a lot of us tend to look when it comes to like, like our past wounds and things of that sort, like how it affects our love life. But it's very rare that we look at how it affects our finances, how it affects our money. And I'm seeing here that you may need to, do that. You may need to sit and, really analyze your past. Like, has there been instances in your past where maybe you've failed at something, and so now you have this fear of failing, and that stops you from going after your career goals, or maybe you had an incident where there's been people in your past who have talked down to you or planted into your head that you're not good enough to complete certain things, or you're not good enough to finish certain things, things of that sort that you can go through that you can almost forget about because it happened so long ago, and you'll never put two and two together that that's actually blocking you from financial success. Like, you need to actually sit down and analyze it, and then you may have like that epiphany, like, oh, I remember when that instant or that circumstance took place, and I can see how that ties into me not being able to set financial goals and me not being motivated to, complete them. So that's what I'm seeing here. With the Marriage card being here, this talks about feminine and masculine energy. So the feminine side of us, because we all have feminine and masculine energy in us. The feminine side of us is the side of us that sits and plans, that comes up with the creative ideas. It's like that. It's like the creative aspect of us, let's put it that way. Like when you sit down and write out a business plan, when you sit down and maybe meditate and get ideas for, what you want to do moving forward with your goals, that is you, utilizing your feminine energy. With your masculine energy, it's the part of you that actually takes action towards those goals, the part of you that gets up and gets it done. So both of those different aspects of yourself are important to complete your goals. You need the feminine aspect to sit and create and to plan, and you need the masculine aspect to actually get up and go and get it, to get up and go and make it work. If you have one without the other, it just won't work. If you have the feminine aspect where you're sitting and planning, but you don't have the masculine, then you'll just have a whole bunch of plans and dreams and goals, but you won't do anything with them. And if you just have the masculine aspect where you're willing to go out and do the work, but you're not utilizing like the creative aspect of yourself, you'll be doing the work, work, but you'll be working harder and not smarter, and you won't really be getting anywhere. You see, so you need both of them. So I'm feeling like you're needing to balance those two out. You're needing to figure out which one is lacking, like I said, if you are lacking in masculine energy, that means that you dream and you plan, but you don't execute those plans. If you're lacking in feminine energy, it's like you're willing to sit and do the work, but you're not being creative about it. Like you're not having like those creative ideas or those goals. You're not putting your heart into it. You could be satisfied with someone else giving you a job to do, but it's like you're not satisfied, or hold on, too many downloads, sorry. You're satisfied with someone else giving you work to do, but like you don't have the patience, or you don't have the headspace to sit and to create certain opportunities for yourself, or to write out business goals for yourself. I hope that makes sense. You need both aspects is what I'm seeing here, and that is going to greatly help your finances. So yeah, that's it for the finances. I am going to definitely get more into that in the extended. I definitely want to look more into the subconscious, because I feel like there's more messages here that want to come out about your past and how that could be affecting your finances. So we're going to get more into that in the extended, and the link to that will be in the description box. But we're going to quickly move on to your love section now, and I'm going to extend both. I'm going to extend the finances and the love section. So let's go ahead and move on to your love portion. So we have the 5 of Swords here, and we have the 5 of Wands. Okay, so what's blocking you from love? The 5 of Swords talks about ego, and it talks about pride. So I feel like one thing that's blocking you is you being very defensive. And I feel like this does come from a place of being hurt in the past, where you could have gotten your heart broken, or you've been very disappointed to the point where you have your guard up a bit, and to the point where it's almost like, trying to figure out the best way to describe this. It's almost like you have too much pride. You're quick to cut somebody off too quickly almost, or you have this idea in your mind that people are always trying to play games with you. Like if you start dating someone new, or this doesn't even have to be romantic. This could be friendship. Like maybe you make a new friend. If there's like something shady that you see, or that you kind of notice, or you think it's shady, you won't even communicate it. Like you're ready to just kind of put that wall up and kind of back off, when you should in fact communicate it, because it sometimes isn't what you think it is. Sometimes when we've been hurt in the past, like we do put that wall up, and it's like this pride and ego thing where we're just like, nope, I'm not about to let somebody play me again. It's not happening again. Like I don't want to look stupid again. I don't want to feel stupid again. I don't want to feel betrayed again. No. And we just put that wall up. But sometimes like that actually blocks us from being able to, grow a friendship or a romantic partnership that would be successful if we were to just kind of put that ego or that pride down a little bit, or put that wall down a little bit, and actually communicate, and not look at it as that someone's always out to get us. You see what I'm saying? The 5 of Wands being here, that talks about having a lot of inner conflict is what I'm hearing. It's like almost like you battle with yourself and you don't express it. Like I said, let's say you meet someone new, you're dating someone, and they do something that you find a little bit unsettling. And so in your mind, you're already detaching from them, or you're already cutting them off in your mind, or you're having this internal struggle within yourself. Like, wait, what was that? Is that the same thing as, what I went through before? Like, is that a red flag? Like you're having this internal battle, but you're not, it's almost like you're not communicating, you're not saying anything. And again, I feel like a lot of that has to do with pride. You could also have been someone who in the past, you've had your feelings dismissed a lot. And so you stopped expressing those feelings, and now you just kind of process your feelings to yourself. And again, that can be very unhealthy when you're trying to build a healthy connection, so it's like a need to really observe that, like really dive into that, unpack that, and figure out, how you can start to move away from that way of being, or that way of thinking, because sometimes it is beneficial. Sometimes it does work for you. Sometimes it has kept you safe from being in situations that weren't good for you, but sometimes it has blocked you from being able to manifest positive, healthy relationships. You can't always have this like chip on your shoulder, or this guard up, like everyone's going to hurt me, everyone's out to get me. And you can't just internalize everything and not express it when you're trying to build something healthy. Communication is key. So that's something that could definitely, be blocking you. And again, I don't blame you for being this way at all, because so many of us have been hurt in the past. And so naturally we just don't want to experience that again. But like I said, having that wall up and having a little too much pride, too much of an ego, that can just really be detrimental. Also, you want to be careful to not engage too much with people who are this way as well. Like for those of you who are like, that's not really how I am, it could also be talking about the people that you are drawn towards, or the people who you engage with, they could be that way. And that's something that's ultimately going to block you, because if they already have a chip on their shoulders, or if they already are thinking that you're out to get them and they're not communicating with you and they just have this guard up, it's just going to just like, it just sets a really bad tone in the relationship already, because then you're trying to like bulldoze your way through like that blockage, that ego. It sometimes makes it so that you can't be vulnerable with them, because they have such a guard up that you almost feel foolish for being vulnerable, and you almost feel foolish for communicating. So like, how could you build any type of like intimacy in a romantic partnership or in a friendship, like with that mindset, or with dealing with a person with that mindset? So you may need to, just kind of switch up, the type of people who you give your energy to and who you entertain. If they're too egotistical, or not even egotistical, but if they're too prideful, or they have too much of a wall up, then you may need to, distance yourself, because sometimes trying to fight through those blockages, or like trying to get that person to put the wall up and open up, or trying to get that person to put the wall down and open up, sorry. It just sometimes could be so draining and just not worth it. So yeah, just take that into consideration, because that could be a major blockage for you when it comes to, manifesting healthy, connections. With the expectation card being here, I'm feeling like you may need to also raise your expectations. And, okay, let me be careful how I word this, because I know that, okay, I'm getting like separate things here. Because I'm hearing that some of you are saying like, raise my expectations. Shouldn't I lower them? Because then that'll lower my disappointment. Yes, in a way, but I feel like what this is saying is that there's a need for you to have standards and to stick to those standards, is what I'm seeing here. Like, yes, there is that old saying, like, don't expect anything from anyone, because then you won't be disappointed. Just be thankful when you come across like a good person, and take it from there, but don't really expect too much and then end up disappointed. So I do understand that way of thinking, but I do also see in this card, like I said, that there's a need for you to have high standards and to stick with those high standards. And that's not to be confused with having a wall up. You don't have to have like a wall up and a guard up to have high standards. You can still be open to meeting new people, to inviting love into your life. And when they don't meet your standards, you can let them go with love. You don't have to have like this wall up and, kind of ice people out, in that way. Or you don't have to enter a connection with fear of like, okay, let me have this wall up, and, if they don't meet these standards, they're out of here. Like, you don't have to go in with that energy. Having high standards can also come with having an open heart, is what I'm seeing. And giving people the opportunity to pretty much prove themselves, and giving people the opportunity to get to know you without there being like that huge blockage of like a wall, being up, is what I'm seeing here. So yeah, don't settle, pretty much. Okay, so the last card out is the Oracle card, Seek Wisdom and Guidance from Elders. So, that's pretty straightforward advice. It's basically saying that this may be an issue, like your issue with relationships and the blockages. You may need some outside help with it. There may be something that you're not seeing, because when you seek out outside help, it's like sometimes you're a little bit too close to the problem, and they're able to see a solution more easily, especially if you seek out outside help from people who've been through like similar situations but have already overcome it. So like a counselor maybe, or like some sort of mentor, even like maybe an older member of your family. And it doesn't have to be older by age either. When it says elder, it doesn't have to be by age. It could be someone who's just more wise or more mature when it comes to these sort of things. They could be someone who's younger than you, in all honesty. I learn things from people who are younger than me all the time. So yeah, this may be something that, you need an outside opinion on when it comes to, your love life, or when it comes to even manifesting friendships into your life, is what I'm seeing here. So don't be afraid to kind of seek out help in that area. So I'm pretty sure that that's it for this. I am going to extend this, like I said before. I'm going to extend the financial part and the love reading. So the link to the extended will be in the description box down below. Just make sure you click on group 1 extended, and I will see you guys over on the extended. And also, if you feel called to watch more than one pile in this video, you can watch more than one, because it's possible that more than one will resonate with you. So like I said, I will see you guys over on the extended, and if not, I will see you guys in my next reading. Bye. Okay, group number 2. So let's go ahead and dive into your reading. We're going to start with your finances first, and then we're going to move on to the love portion. So the first card out for your finances is the Page of Swords. So with the Page of Swords, what I'm seeing here is that you're needing to be very, very careful about what it is that you are allowing into your mind. Okay. So for example, if you are wanting to set some sort of financial goal and you want to share it with someone, make sure you're not sharing it or asking for advice from someone who has their own limitations, like someone who has a lot of self-limiting beliefs, and so they'll try to push it onto you because they can get in your head. You see what I'm saying? It's like you're needing to be very careful about what you allow into your mind. Make sure you are shielding your mind from any type of like negativity or self-doubt, because that's going to definitely, it's not going to help when it comes to you trying to manifest financial abundance. You're also needing to be very careful about what it is that you're consuming online, is what I'm hearing. Because I'm hearing that you could be comparing yourself a lot. You could be comparing, like, for example, yourself to other people on social media who are already financially stable, who post about the things that they're buying, or who may post about their success and things of that sort. Nothing wrong with that, nothing wrong with them posting about those things, but it could really kind of make you feel self-conscious and make you, just compare yourself to the point where it just makes you lose your motivation. Like if you feel like you're so far behind other people, it almost makes you feel like I'm never going to catch up. I'm not doing something right. What's the point? I'm just never going to get there. It's like those negative thoughts start to spiral in your head, and it all stems from you comparing yourself to people online. So you may need to kind of take a step back, from social media a little bit as you are working on manifesting financial abundance for yourself, because I feel like it's not doing you any good by seeing those things. And I feel like you're seeing it excessively to the point where it's no longer motivating. Now it's just making you feel self-conscious. So yeah, that's what I'm seeing there. It's like just a need for you to really protect your mind so you can be as optimistic as possible when it comes to, setting your goals, for your finances. So the next card out is the Chariot card in the reverse. So this is you being straight up stagnant. Like the Chariot card in reverse is like being in a car and having, flat tires, like you can't go anywhere. And I'm going to pull another card just to clarify and see what is the root of being stagnant. What's the root of this? Oh, I'm hearing for some of you it's your health. Wow, interesting. For some of you, this is health related. It could be physical health. It could be mental health, but this is like health related. So you may be needing to get your health in order, because that is definitely blocking you from being able to achieve certain things financially. Like if your health is not in order, you can't do anything. Like everything else has to come second to your health. And so you may need to get your health in order, is what I'm seeing here, whether it be, like I said, your physical health or your mental health, or a combination of both, because they usually both go hand in hand. Pull one more. So you may need to, I'm hearing for some of you, you may need to invest in like a nutritionist or someone who can help you eat better, change your diet, take care of your body better. It's like you're needing to invest in your body, is what I'm hearing. Invest in taking better care of your body. Invest your time into it as well, like doing research on how to better take care of your body. And also, like I said, invest in, possibly professionals who can help you as well, like hiring a nutritionist or someone who specializes in, holistic healing, things of that sort. I hope you get what I'm trying to say. It's like needing to invest in your body more and needing that to be the focus, because without your health, you're not making any money. Honestly, you can't do anything without your health being in order first. I'm going to pull one more because I feel like there's something else that's here. Lovers card in the reverse. Unexpected income. Okay, so I'm seeing here that there also may be people around you. Again, this goes back to my message about being careful about what you allow into your mind. That includes who you surround yourself with. There may be people around you who I feel like they are just draining. But the Lovers card being here in the reverse, I feel like these are draining individuals who are around you, and they possibly take so much from you and they don't give you back anything in return. It's like they take a lot and they give very little, and you'd be surprised at how much that can impact your finances. Because again, if you're drained, if you're stressed, if you're so focused on, you know, your connections because they're toxic or because they are, like I said, draining, your finances and your goals, they'll fall by the wayside. That's why it's very important to be selective with who you allow into your life, because it's not just about, you know, your romantic attachments. It's not just about your friendship. It trickles over into every area of your life, including your finances. You see, because if you have to overexert yourself or put too much energy into maintaining a relationship that's just one-sided, or maintaining connections that are just not healthy, like how could you possibly focus on your financial goals? It's you know, it's not possible. So yeah, you need to be very, very mindful of that. You need to spend more time with people who, you know, there's a 50-50 sort of relationship with. They give just as much as they take. And when I say give and take, it doesn't just have to be physical things like they give you money, you give them money. It's like energy as well. Like you put your love and energy into them, they also put their love and energy into you, and you will feel so balanced, and you'll, you know, be able to free up a lot of energy to put into your finances. Like so much energy wouldn't be exerted into the toxicity of a connection. It would now be able to be redirected into your financial goals. I hope that made sense. So I'm also seeing here the Knight card, and it says triumph over adversity. So there may be a need for you to study people who have been in your exact situation financially and who have made it out. And again, be careful of this, because like I said, sometimes you can have a tendency to compare yourself to the point where you lose motivation. But I feel like if you're reading stories or watching videos about people who started exactly where you are and they've been able to overcome in a financial sense, I feel like that in itself will be motivating to you. I don't think that that will be something that causes you to feel self-conscious or causes you to feel like down on yourself. I feel like that will be the motivating factor that will help you kind of get up and, you know, get things done when it comes to your finances. What I'm seeing here with the courtship card being here as well, this talks about being in the beginning stages. So I feel like when it comes to your career goals, your financial goals, it's okay for you to right now not know exactly what you want. It may be that you need to explore a couple different avenues and then make a concrete decision. You don't have to make a decision right away when it comes to like your goals or your plans. This just reminds me of like when you're in high school and they're asking you like, what do you want to do, you know, with your career? Like they're asking like a teenager, what do you want to do for the rest of your life? And that's why a lot of people get to college and they end up getting degrees that they later on don't use, because they have been asked at too much of a young age to basically decide what it is they want for the rest of their lives. When sometimes you need more time, or you need to kind of dabble in different things to know what it is that you want and what you don't want, you know? Like when I enter college, I wanted to be a social worker, right? And as college went on, or as my, you know, as I furthered my education, I started to see that I was more into psychology rather than sociology and social work, you know? And so I kind of changed, you know, shifted gears there. Then I thought I wanted to be a psychotherapist. And then obviously I shifted gears and now, you know, I'm a YouTuber. So it's like, you may need to dabble in different things to know what it is that you want to do long term when it comes to your finances. You don't need to know right away, like concrete, this is what I want to do. Try out a couple different hats is what I'm seeing here. I'm going to pull one more card for that. And there's nothing wrong also with starting over. This could also talk about, like, for those of you who have a job, like you work a 9 to 5, there's nothing wrong with starting over or starting somewhere new, because your work environment actually does affect you as well, is what I'm seeing. It greatly affects you actually, because you spend so much time, you know, working you need to be in a place where it's at least comfortable for you. Like if it's having a negative, if your work environment is having a negative impact on your mental health, and in turn it could be also stressing you out physically, like it could be breaking your physical health down, you're needing to maybe consider starting over elsewhere, because that's just, it'll be no good for you long term. Especially if you have long-term financial goals that are outside of your 9 to 5 or outside of your job. It's like, how could you possibly even put any energy into those things when your 9 to 5 job, your day job, is like just completely deteriorating your health? You see what I'm saying? So just be mindful of that. Actually, I'm not going to pull another card for you. I'm hearing that that's it for the finances, and we're going to dive deeper into the finances in the extended, but first we're going to look at your love portion and what's blocking you from love. So what I'm seeing here is the 3 of Swords first, and so immediately I'm hearing that what's blocking you from new love entering is heartbreak. You've definitely experienced some sort of devastation in your past, or you could be currently heartbroken, is what I'm seeing here. And so it's like you feel like you're not ready to open yourself up to someone new. It's like consciously you could be saying, yes, I'm ready, I want something new, but your heart is saying no, because you are still injured, like you're still hurt right now, is what I'm seeing here. I'm going to pull one more card for that. Ace of Wands. Yeah, your heart's saying no, for sure. Ace of Wands is like, I don't have any energy. I don't have the motivation. Like, I don't want to invest into anyone or anything. And that's kind of like blocking you from love. So I feel like there may be a need for you to mend your broken heart first, and then it'll be more open to inviting someone in. Because like I said, you can say in your mind, I'm ready, let's do this, I want to start dating again. But if your heart is still hurting and it needs some mending, it needs some healing, then you may need to take, a bit of time to mend it and to heal it. And then your heart will be much more open to new love coming in. I'm also seeing here the 8 of Cups. So the 8 of Cups talks about walking away from something that you put a lot of time and energy into. I really do feel like for a lot of you, you just went through a very horrific heartache where you just had to like really say, okay, all the hard work, all the energy I put in, I have to leave that behind because this isn't working, which of course is very, very devastating. But it's like you knew it was for the best, like you knew there was better for you. So you're willing to leave that behind. But still, you need to give yourself time to heal. For some of you, you're actually shaming yourself for not being healed yet. For still holding on to this situation. You're needing to just remember that there is no time frame on when healing takes place, and you're needing to be gentle with yourself, and you need to be compassionate towards yourself and not feel ashamed just because you're not over it yet. There's no set time period where you're supposed to be over something, So the more you try to rush this heartbreak and the more you try to like force yourself past it, I feel like the less you're open to new love. Even if you think you're open to it, like mentally, you're not, like your heart is not, because it's just not mended. Okay, so I'm going to pull one more. For some of you, I'm also hearing that this is saying that you're needing to walk away from something that's breaking your heart currently. Because of course, if you're still engaged in something that's breaking your heart, or that's continuously breaking your heart, there's no room for new love to come into your life. There's no space for it. So for some of you, this is a message of needing to walk away. Let me pull one more. And that doesn't just have to be like you're in a love relationship that you need to walk away from. You'd be surprised that like other areas of your life trickle into your love life. So if you're holding on to like a friend who is like hurtful or harmful to you, that can even affect your love life, because that's causing your heart to kind of close off because it keeps getting hurt by this friend. And how are you going to invite a new lover into your life if your heart's kind of closed off? You see what I'm saying? So it doesn't just have to be a lover, a romantic interest that's hurting you. It could be any area of your life that's hurting you that you need to walk away from, because then you can truly mend your heart and it can be open enough to invite new energy in. Pull one more. You have the Sun card in reverse, feeling drained, feeling defeated, but still needing to not rush past this feeling, this grieving process, because it is a part of the healing. And again, if you are engaged in something that is draining you, depleting you, hurting you, you really seriously need to walk away from that, because there's no way you can manifest new love into your life while you're in, that sort of situation. So I'm seeing the mature man card here, and I'm seeing the siren card as well. So the mature man card to me is talking about a need for you to, what's the best word for this? Because I want to say the word expand, but that's not quite the word I'm looking for. It's sort of like needing to almost, what's the word? I guess reinvent yourself, I guess you could say, because with the Three of Swords being here, this heartbreak card, sometimes the thing that can help mend our hearts is if we were to kind of like start a new chapter. That's why I like when some people go through breakups, they'll start going to the gym, or they'll sign up for like school, like, oh, I'm going back to school now, I'm focusing on that, or they'll start a new business. Like, it's like needing almost like a whole new routine, needing something else to look forward to. And I feel like that in itself will help to, mend your heart. It'll help you to heal. And in turn, you will attract new love into your life. I'm hearing that, in the process of expanding, or in the process of starting these new things in order to heal, you may actually meet someone. And that could be, what calls that new love into your life, is you actually taking these steps towards evolving, and then you end up meeting someone. So for example, if you say, okay, I'm going to start going to the gym because I just got my heart broken, I need something to focus on, like fitness goals or whatever. You start going to the gym, boom, you meet someone new. See what I'm saying? I feel like that is a very big possibility for some of you. But overall, just taking part in that and doing things that are helping you to improve and grow, and focusing on that as you heal your heart, again, it's just going to clear up so much space for new love to enter your life, is what I'm seeing here. So the last card out is the siren card. It says temptation may lead you astray. To me, this is talking about being tempted to go back to the past, to revisit the past, to live in the past. Like, even if you can't go back to that person who hurt you, I feel like you could be tempted to just continuously reminisce about it, or continuously hold on to it, and you're needing to take the steps towards letting it go. Now, there's a big difference between letting it go and bypassing it. Okay, when you bypass it, you're just trying to pretend that it didn't happen, and you're just like, nope, okay, I'm just not going to think about it, I'm moving on, and you're trying to force your way out of the heartache, and that's not how it works. That's bypassing. In terms of letting it go, that's a bit different, because that's acknowledging that it happened, and acknowledging that there's nothing you can do about it now, like it happened, but now I have to put my attention onto my healing. You see, that's a very different energy than it didn't happen, I'm moving on, versus it happened, it hurt me, I'm acknowledging that, and now I'm putting my energy into moving forward rather than putting my energy into holding on. You see? So be mindful of that. Be mindful of the temptation to continuously return back to the past and hang on to it, but also be mindful of the temptation to try to pretend it didn't happen, because again, that in itself will keep your heart space somewhat closed off, and you won't be able to attract new love. So that is it for that group number 2. We're going to dive deeper into these messages in the extended. We'll dive deeper into, your finances and how to manifest financial abundance. And then we'll dive deeper into your love and how to manifest new love into your life. So the link to that will be in the description. Make sure you click on group number 2 extended video, and I will see you guys over on the extended. And if you do feel called to watch more than one of these piles, you can go ahead and do that, because more than one may resonate with you. So like I said, I will see you guys over on the extended video. Bye. Okay, group number 3. So let's go ahead and dive into your reading. We're going to start with finances first, and then we will move into the love portion. So for your finances, the first card that came out is the Ace of Pentacles. And so what I'm seeing here is that, you may have had some disappointments when it comes to your finances. Like, you could have taken a lot of losses, or been turned down a lot, hit a lot of like roadblocks. And I feel like that has really discouraged you. And because you've been discouraged by, these things that have gone wrong, it's almost like you're not trying as hard as you could. Which is, that makes a lot of sense. That's human nature. If something hurts us, or if we feel like something isn't working, then yeah, we're not going to put all our energy into it. So it makes perfect sense, but it is blocking you from, leveling up financially. Like, for example, let's say that you wanted to start, your own business, and then you started it and then you launched it, and maybe you didn't get the result that you wanted. That could have kind of killed your motivation, and you're just like, oh, I don't even want to do this anymore now. And basically it's saying here that you're needing to not allow those roadblocks to make you stop completely, but instead use it as a way to kind of show you what it is that you may need to change. So use it as sort of like a compass to lead you in the right direction, rather than letting it completely kill your motivation. So back to the example I was giving, like maybe you wanted to start a business, you launched, and you didn't get that many sales. You're needing to say, okay, what is it that I did wrong, and let me change it. Instead of internalizing it as, oh, I'm a failure, you could approach it from more like an objective approach and say like, okay, well, what exactly didn't I do correctly? Did I not promote this as well as I could, as well as I could have? Did I not market this correctly? Like maybe I could, for my next launch, I could put more time or energy or money into marketing. You see what I'm saying? It's like using it as a way to kind of steer you in the right direction. Don't use it or don't see it as, okay, I failed at this, and so now I don't even want to try. This also goes for, like, let's say you're looking for a new job, you've been out of work and you keep applying, but you're not getting any offers, or you're not getting hired. You could, let that discourage you, or you could say to yourself, okay, maybe I need to, change my resume. Maybe I need to hire someone to look over my resume and tell me how to, fix it so that I could get more offers. Or maybe you're not getting past the interview process, and maybe you need to practice like interviewing and go online and look up, the best ways to answer interview questions. You see what I'm saying? It's like, use it as a compass to lead you in the right direction. Don't see it as, okay, I'm completely and totally discouraged and I'm no longer working towards my financial goal. You see? With the 10 of Wands being here, this is talking about the importance of continuing to keep going, because you're almost there. It feels like you're not about to reach your goals, and you're not about to, manifest the things that you want financially, but you definitely are almost there. Like, you've been putting the work in, and even though you've been, hitting a few roadblocks or a few stumbling blocks, you still are very, very close to your destination. And so it's important that you do not give up, is what I'm seeing here. I want to pull one more card for that. Yeah, the Thief card is here in reverse. This is basically saying, like, don't rob yourself of, the abundance that you deserve by giving up prematurely. I just feel like if you give up now, like, it's just like you're so close to it. Like, this card, I'm just hearing like you're so close to it. If you give up now, it would just be extremely, extremely disappointing, because you're a lot closer than you think. It's kind of like running a race and you're like, oh, I can't do it anymore. I quit. And you're just quitting literally right before the finish line. Like, you exerted all of that energy and effort just to quit right before the finish line. So, don't do that. Keep on going, keep on moving. I'm telling you, this 10 of Wands is like, you are almost there, is what I'm seeing. It might also help for you to kind of, I'm hearing intuitively to speak out loud what it is that's bothering you. So again, if you tried something and failed at it, you may need to speak out loud that it's actually bothering you. I don't really know the science behind this, but this is what my guides are telling me, that sometimes speaking something out loud can help you to kind of release the energy. So if you feel like a failure, speaking out loud, like, I didn't succeed at this, so I feel like a failure, but I'm determined to keep going. Saying that out loud, it does something to shift your energy. Again, I wish I could explain like the inner workings of this, or like why that is, but I'm hearing that from my guide, so I'm just relaying the message to you. That's what I'm seeing here. So, one second. There's another message that's trying to come through here, because there's some confusion. Oh, okay. Got it. So for some of you, you could be a bit stubborn when it comes to the path that you're taking, when it comes to your finances. And that's where you're creating a blockage for yourself. It's like not being willing to be a bit flexible. Like, sometimes when we set a financial goal, or when we set a goal in life, period, we're supposed to stick to that goal, but we're supposed to be flexible in the way that the goal comes to us. You see? We need to be able to change and adapt because like life throws curveballs at you sometimes and you have to adapt. So you may need to take a quick detour, but you still need to keep your eye on the goal. But that doesn't change the fact that sometimes a detour is needed. So you're needing to not be so stubbornly attached to, no, it has to happen this way, you know? It has to be like this. This is the way I envisioned it. This is the way I planned it. It has to go like this. Yes, you need to have that mindset when it comes to the end goal. But like I said, when it comes to getting there, you need to be open if the universe decides to reroute you and take you on a different route, because the universe could be taking you on a route that's easier than the one that you initially planned. And you're so stubbornly like, no, it has to be this. An example I can give, I'm trying to think of like a finance example, but there's a relationship example that's coming to mind. If you want to get married, that's a goal of yours, to be married, to have kids, right? Yes, you should continue to have that goal. But if you're with someone who is not good for you, who wouldn't be a good life partner, who wouldn't be a good parent, then don't stubbornly hold on to that person. Be open to releasing them, letting them go, and letting the universe bring in someone who's more fit for you. So that's what I mean by have your eye on the end goal, but be a little more flexible when it comes to your financial goals. Be willing to adapt and readjust your route, is what I'm seeing here. Because a lot of the confusion that I'm seeing here, because I'm seeing confusion of you kind of wondering, why isn't this working out? And that's why it's like stubbornly holding on to, this is the way it's supposed to be, or this is the route I'm supposed to take, when you're needing to be more flexible, is what I'm seeing here. Let me see if there's any other messages for that. Nope, that's it for those cards. So we have the community card here as well. So the community card lets me know that there may be a need for you to get some sort of sense of community around you surrounding your financial goals. So this could be like joining like an online group, like, you know how they have like the Facebook groups like for entrepreneurs, and they kind of bounce ideas off each other, or they give each other motivation. It's like that. Like you may be needing some sense of community when it comes to your financial goals, because sometimes it can get very lonely, especially if you are someone who's trying to be like an entrepreneur or something along those lines. It can get very lonely, and one thing that kind of makes it a little more interesting, or makes it a little more fun and encouraging, is if you make contact with other people who are also on, that same path, and you can kind of, like I said, bounce ideas off of each other, or kind of motivate each other. This could also talk about collaborations, or needing some sort of team. If you think about like the most successful entrepreneurs, or you think about the most successful people in general, usually they have some sort of team around them that's helping them propel forward. So you may need to have some sort of team. It really depends on, because there's a lot of different people watching this. It really depends on what your goal is when it comes to finances. So just kind of take this advice with a grain of salt, because for some of you, like I said, if you're wanting to be like an entrepreneur, you may need a team. But for those of you who don't want to be an entrepreneur, and maybe you are, on a different or a more traditional career path, you just may need to be around people who are also on that career path. Like, let's say you're in school to be like a lawyer, and you may be needing to be friends with other people who are on that path as well, to kind of support each other in that way. You see, so just kind of take these messages and apply them to, your own situation. So with the hindrance card being here, it says fate has blocked this path for you. I feel like when it comes to your finances, a lot of the times that your path has been blocked, or a lot of your roadblocks, is, again, like I was saying before, the universe saying, no, there's a better way. There's a better way to go about this. There's a better way to go about getting here. And so I'm going to redirect you. So like, for example, if you apply for a job, or for multiple jobs, and you did not get them, that was the universe's way of blocking you, because it's trying to redirect you to a job that would be much better suited for you. Like that one job that you thought you wanted, you actually would have gotten there. You would have been miserable because the work environment is terrible. And so the universe kind of like redirected you, rerouted you, so you wouldn't even waste your time, so you wouldn't even waste your time getting to that job, discovering it's not for you, then having to pack your stuff up and go elsewhere. It's like the universe just was like, nope, we're just going to cut out all of that, and we're just going to redirect you, and we're going to send you somewhere better. So that's why a lot of blockages, or you've experienced a lot of blockages when it comes to your finances. The universe was pretty much trying to protect you. As cliche as that sounds, it's absolutely true, is what I'm seeing here. So yeah, that is the reading for your finances. We're going to get more into it in the extended video, but first we're going to look at your love messages. Okay, so now moving on to your love reading or your love messages. So we have the 10 of Pentacles here first, and then we have the 3 of Cups. So to me, this is saying that you're needing to get very clear about what it is that you want when it comes to love. And this is a reoccurring message, because when it comes to manifestation, the law of attraction, pulling that new love into your life energetically, you need to be clear about what it is that you want. And that's why you may go through relationships that don't work out. Like you're constantly like meeting people, and then you date them for a while and then it falls apart. That's basically a way of you now adding to your list the things that you want and don't want, because sometimes you have to experience what you don't want in order to know what it is that you want. So you need to kind of look back at your past relationships and the people you've dated, and kind of compile a list. And you could actually write this list down too, like you can physically write it on paper. Compile a list of all the things that you've learned that you need in a relationship, because each time a relationship didn't work out, it was basically showing you, okay, this is what I want, this is what I don't want. So compile a list of the things that you do want. It's just very important for you to get clear, because I'm seeing that a lot of you want a long-term connection with the 10 of Cups being here, or the 10 of Pentacles, sorry. You want a long-term connection. You want someone who you can build with. And again, for some of you, I have to give this disclaimer. For some of you, this isn't love as in relationships. Like some of you are wanting to manifest love as in like friendships and things of that sort. So, just take it as it, applies to your situation. But like I said, you're wanting something long term, you're wanting something stable, you're wanting something steady. And in order for you to have that, like I said, you have to be clear about what it is that you want. And so your past relationships really have done you a favor by showing you exactly what it is that you need. So with the 3 of Cups being here as well, I feel like this is talking about, your idea of relationships, and needing to separate your idea of what a good relationship is from what other people's idea is. Because sometimes, we can get those two confused. Sometimes we look at relationships from like a societal norm sort of standpoint, and it basically takes us off track, because it's what society is telling us a relationship should be, instead of following what our heart wants it to be. Like, for example, on Twitter, I remember someone said like, wait, so you mean to tell me that I have to, like, once we fall in love, I have to share a bed with this person for the rest of my life? Like, they were obviously joking, but my response was like, it's funny, because you don't really have to do anything. Like, you could fall in love with someone, they could fall in love with you, and you can decide to live in 2 separate houses if you wanted to. You could decide to sleep in 2 separate bedrooms. You can get a bunk bed and they sleep on top and you sleep on the bottom. Like, it's what you want and what would make you feel the most happy. It's not about what's normal or what's traditional. If you don't want to get married, then don't get married, just because it's like a norm for people to say like, okay, well, you fall in love and then the next step is marriage, the next step is kids. If that's not what you want, then make it clear that it's not what you want, and you don't have to partake in it. And I know that seems so obvious, like, well, duh, if I don't want it, then I don't need to. But sometimes, like I said, society or just other people around us can really drill into our heads that things are supposed to be a certain way, to the point where our wants and our desires get kind of lost. And sometimes we start thinking like, maybe this is what I want because it's what everyone else wants, or it's because what the norm is, when in reality it's not. It's very easy to get those two confused when you're constantly surrounded by these societal norms, So it's a need for you to just really get clear, separate your wants and your desires versus what other people say you should want and should desire when it comes to love and when it comes to a relationship. And once you have that clarity, it's going to be so easy for you to manifest the love, that you want for yourself. I'm also seeing here, because the 3 of Cups talks about friendship, there is a need for you when it comes to, new love. There is a need for you to build a solid friendship first. And again, that sounds very cliche. It sounds like typical advice, but it is important. It's very important, because if you want this 10 of Pentacles, meaning you want that long-term stability, you have to first build a very solid foundation to build that on top of. You can't build a solid house on top of like shaky land. You have to have a solid platform first to build the house on top of. So I'm seeing that friendship would be the solid platform. You're needing to build a friendship and be willing to do that. Don't try to rush into long-term commitment without building that solid foundation first, because the house is just going to collapse pretty much. So yeah, that's what I'm seeing here. The next card out is the main female card. So the main female card, I usually see this as like my self-love card, like really loving yourself, really taking care of yourself. And that in itself puts you in energetic alignment with manifesting a partner who also loves you. But I will say that sometimes that message can be a little, what's the word? I guess insensitive or a little off-putting, because what if you have a difficult time loving yourself? Does that mean that you can't manifest love? No, that's not what that means. And I did do a thread about this on Twitter as well. And I said that you don't have to necessarily have this self-love or like reach this pinnacle of self-love to be deserving of love. You're deserving of it right now, and you need to know that, and you need to acknowledge that. And if you need anything to manifest love, it would be self-compassion, because self-compassion is the thing that is going to allow you to allow love into your life. Okay, I really hope I'm explaining this right. It's basically like this. Let's say that you have a hard time loving yourself because you've just been through a lot in life, and it's very difficult to learn to love yourself, right? But if you can have compassion for yourself, meaning that you can look at the things you've been through and say like, wow, I really feel for you. That's terrible. You didn't deserve that. Even if you don't love yourself, just having that self-compassion will be enough for you to say, okay, I am deserving of love, because everything that I've gone through, you know, those are things that weren't in my control, and those are things that I did not deserve. And so I should not let those past experiences stop me from love. You see what I'm saying? So even minus the self-love, even with you feeling like you don't love yourself, even you just looking at yourself through the eyes of self-compassion will be enough for you to say, you know what? I do deserve love, because what I went through was terrible and I didn't deserve that. And I do deserve to be loved by someone, you know? And also with self-compassion, you'll also kind of like keep negative people or toxic people away from you. When you're lacking self-love and you're lacking self-compassion, sometimes you will just allow certain mistreatment. You'll allow certain people into your life who will just really take advantage of you, mistreat you, and things of that sort. But with self-compassion, with you feeling empathy for yourself and you feeling like, wow, I don't deserve to be treated like this, you're more likely to set that boundary and boot that person out of your life. So even if you can't find love for yourself, if you can find compassion for yourself, that in itself is enough for you to invite love into your life. You see what I'm saying? I really hope that that makes sense. Okay, so ending with your oracle cards, we have the Raven card. Okay, so I feel like the Raven card talks about you having to kind of sift through your past relationships, even though they could have been a bit dark, or they could have been a bit, what would be the word for it? Negative, I guess. I'm trying to, like, the word is like kind of, the word is like not coming out, like it's in my mind and it's not wanting to leave my lips. Your past relationships could have just been very low vibrational, let's put it that way. But again, they are a compass to tell you exactly what it is that you do want. So don't be afraid to revisit the past as a way to extract the lessons, you know, because some of you really don't like to revisit the past. You don't like to go back there, which is completely and totally understandable depending on how bad, you know, those situations were. But I do feel like it would just be beneficial to you if you could revisit the past, even just briefly, in order for you to, like I said, extract the lesson. Well, it's not really a lesson. It's more of like extract what it is that you do and don't want in a partner now based off of what you have been through, is what I'm seeing here. So I think that that's it. Is that it? I'm trying to see if there's another message that is coming through here before we move on to the extended. There's a level of pessimism too that I feel like some of you are needing to battle when it comes to love. Because if you've had a lot of negative experiences, you can become very pessimistic about love and have like a one-track mind. And sometimes you don't even realize that you're doing this, because like the bad experiences have built up over time and they've kind of shaped your brain to say, okay, this is just how it is. Like, people can't be trusted. I can't find love because people are just terrible. Like, those types of things can build up over time and kind of take over our minds before we even realize it. And so we could develop a very pessimistic outlook on love. And so you may be needing to examine that and challenge that, because that pessimistic outlook is ultimately going to block, that new love from coming into your life. So that is it. We're going to finish this in the extended. We're going to get more detailed with your finances and with your love. So thank you guys for watching. I will see you over on the extended. The link to that is in the description. Just click on group 3 extended video. Oh, and if you feel drawn to watch any of the other piles in this reading, you can go ahead and do so, because more than one pile could resonate with you. And again, I will see you guys over on the extended. Bye.